Hi, welcome. This is the virtual conservation dinner. This is the first time we've ever done this. This is an event of the Exeter Lions Club and the Sauble Bayfield Conservation Foundation. And normally we have about 400 people in a room. We can't do that this year, but we hope that this is social and we hope that this is fun and that you enjoy it. And you've heard enough from me. We're going to get very shortly to some guests and some very special guests that I'm looking forward to speaking with. We also have some pre-recorded videos. We have some dignitaries on board. We have a show tonight, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, our first launch show. This is the launch of the virtual conservation dinner. The online auction at conservationdinner.com, it's already live, so there are some great items, and people are already bidding, and that's really exciting to see. We have 4 new things this year in the conservation dinner. Well, one is obviously we're doing things virtually, and it's the online auction. The need in the community is the same as it has always been, but we have to find new ways. The Conservation Dinner Committee has to find new ways to raise the needed funds to make these projects happen. Second new thing is the 50/50 online raffle draw. It's online this year, and so here again, it's a way to raise funds and support your community, but do it in a way that is very safe. And ordering your ticket online is a safe way to do that. So thank you, Exeter Lions Club, for making that happen. At conservationdinner.com, you can see a link to the Exeter Lions 5050.com website. I apologize for technical issues. This is live TV. You may or may not be able to hear me very well. We'll work on that. We have Nick here working hard, and Andrew in the back, and Mark. And so I want to thank all the people who are making this possible. Our third new thing this year, Dining for Your Community. And that's an amazing project of all the restaurants. We have, I believe, 9 restaurants that are delivering, or rather offering meals takeout on special days, special meals on special dates, and you can order them, buy them, and then, amazingly support your community at the same time. So it's a great way to support your community, your local businesses, and it's also a great way to support conservation projects in this area. And the fourth new thing that we're doing this year are the TV broadcasts. And we're working through it. You will see us on Facebook and also on the conservationdinner.com site. You'll also see it in other places. And those other places include 3 cable television providers. So I want to offer my sincere thanks to Hay Communications, Huron-Tel, and TCC, Tucker Smith Communications. It's amazing that those 3 cable TV providers are offering this service to their community. So you know about conservationdinner.com, so you know about the virtual conservation dinner and what this is all about. So we're going to go to some guests shortly, but I think we're probably still working through some technical stuff. I'm Tim Cumming, by the way. This is my Ted Knight gray hair, so I'm doing my best Ted Knight impersonation, and you may or may not hear me, and if that's the case, some people will say that's a good thing. Maybe until we get some of the technical difficulties worked out, I'll talk about what the Conservation Dinner online this year supports. It supports a lot of things for youth. Bursaries, job opportunities, conservation opportunities, and recreation, nature education. So that's for youth, the young. There are also a lot of things that benefit the young at heart. Nature education for the young at heart, parks, trails, conservation areas, and recreation, habitat. These are great things. So You're probably wondering, but before I decide to either donate or to bid on the auction or to buy a raffle ticket or to support these restaurants participating in the program, what am I supporting? All net proceeds from the conservation dinner go split evenly between the wonderful conservation projects of the Exeter Lions Club, community projects of the Exeter Lions Club, and community projects of AuSable Bayfield Conservation Foundation. So it's the two organizations. It has been an amazing partnership between these two organizations, these two community organizations. Over 30 years, they have raised more than $1.2 million, which is amazing. And so I'm going to ask our technical folks, we're probably still working through some stuff, are we? Well, first of all, one of our first special guests we have, and I know he's going to be patient with the technology, is Jim Ginn. And Jim Ginn is the mayor of one of the 12 municipalities in the AuSable Bayfield watersheds. Mayor Jim is also a steward and a landowner, and so he wears more than one hat, and I think most of us do here in rural Ontario. And I see Jim Ginn, and you know what? People are so happy, Jim, that they get to hear from you instead of me. They've heard way too much from me. So, Jim, just tell us, you've been to some conservation dinners before. This is a little different this year. Just tell us about how fun it was back when we used to have 400 people in a room, and you know, that group and what they've accomplished.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we always had a great time at it, and raising money for such good causes too, right? So, you know, a lot of stewardship projects. I remember raising a lot of money for the trail, an accessible trail. Not very many places have those, and just the good work that's been done. You know, during COVID, probably it really brought to the forefront how important our wild life areas are. There's nothing better you can do than get out and you know, go for a walk in the woods. And you know, we've seen it at the county forest in Huron County, and I know the conservation authorities and the municipality has some trails as well, and just all good stuff. And we sure need that break, mental health break, that we can do by getting out in our natural areas. So conservation authorities have more natural areas than any other organization in Ontario, I believe, and certainly in Southern Ontario. So anything that we can do to keep those areas natural, and as I said, the value, mental health value of those has never shone brighter than it does right now.
For sure, and I know it's a difficult time right now with the pandemic, and people have to manage how often they go, and you know, wanting to go to their local area, staying healthy and being active, but not staying too long so you don't have too many people. So it's a real balancing thing. But I know when conservation areas were briefly closed, it was very hard on people, and in this time when there are so many things you can't do, that getting out in nature is so important. And I think there have been a lot of studies that show the benefit of nature, that yes, we have to think of our impact on nature, but we should also give some thought to nature's impact on us, and it makes a big difference for us. Maybe if we have a chance, Jim, just to talk about your own stewardship. You've really put an emphasis yourself on tree planting and stewardship.
Yeah, for sure. Long before I got into politics, I was heavily involved in stewardship activities, sat on many environmental type organizations, and I planted roughly 20,000 trees on this farm. As I look out my window right now in my sunroom, I can see a lot of what I've done. Stream crossings, I think I have 5 stream crossings, fenced cattle out of the streams many years ago. barnyard runoff containment, no-till farming. Yeah, the list goes on. I think the last time I looked, there was 14 different things that I had kind of done, but I got a farm that's conducive to that, right? So, if I had a flat 100, I maybe wouldn't have done as much as I have on the rolling lands that I own.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate your stewardship. Something else I was thinking that we should talk about, because this event tonight raises so much, this week rather, raises so much for young people in terms of nature, education, job scholarships, education scholarships, job bursaries. What can you say as mayor of Central Huron in terms of youth and the importance of youth, because you have a lot of great young people there in your municipality?
Yeah, we've really, in Central Huron, we've really concentrated on interacting with our students. Of course, we have 6 schools in the town of Clinton, and a lot of students. And the one thing we've always tried to work on is, we've always had a problem in Huron County of youth out migration and sometimes losing our best and our brightest. And we learned a few years ago that, if the students are engaged in their community, if they feel valued, they're far more likely to return after they've left to get a post-secondary education. So that's become one of the main drivers in Central Huron, working with students. And I love working with students. They have so much energy, so many great ideas, and they're so positive. And the education component that the Conservation Authority does, and like you say, the bursaries and stuff associated with not only your organization, but many organizations that we see when I go to the student graduations. It's phenomenal. And I know the cost of education is getting very high for many, many people. And these really help out students to achieve what they're capable of.
Yep. And no offense to you or to me, Jim, but later on in the show, we have one of the young people who's benefited from the Junior Conservationist Job Experience Program. And I think people are really going to enjoy hearing that voice of youth. Not that you and I aren't young, but this person just a smidgen younger and can talk about something that is directly benefited by the money raised by this event, the Conservation Dinner, which is virtual this year. So I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add. Maybe one last thing that we can touch on is this partnership between the Exeter Lions Club and the Conservation Foundation. You've seen it in action. What do you think of that group of people and what they've been able to do, raising $1.2 million over 30 years? What would you have to say about that partnership and that group?
Yeah, just phenomenal. And the partnership is so strong and it's so beneficial to everyone. Of course, our service clubs, Lions, especially, but we've got many service clubs. They all do a lot of really good work for the community. Volunteers are the essence of our community. We can't do everything we need to do, or people wouldn't be able to afford their taxes, right? So we really depend on volunteers to give us the quality of life that we know, we love, and we've become accustomed to in this area. So hats off to the Exeter Lions and to the Conservation Authority. All these years and all that money raised, and it's just a real good all-around feeling.
Well, thank you, Jim. I'm so glad you brought up the volunteers. I meant to address that a little more closely, but you brought it up, and I'm glad you did, because you can't do it without the volunteers. And so I want to shout out to the volunteers of the Lions Club, of the Conservation Foundation, of all the community groups and all the Lions clubs in your municipality and all the municipalities, because I know they've been very supportive of this as well. So Jim, thank you for giving up your time. I know our political representatives don't seem to get a night off very often, so I do appreciate it. And sorry we didn't get to dress up and clink glasses and rub elbows with those 400 people.
Next
I know
year for sure.
For sure. Hopefully next year we can meet again. So Jim,
the conservation authorities will always have a special place in my heart. So happy to help out.
Yes, and that's a good point. You served, I think, on a couple of different conservation authority boards. Did you not? Ausable Bayfield.
Just Ausable Bayfield.
Okay.
For 9 years and then came back for a few months to finish off a term of another counselor who left. And very, very fond memories of my time on the board.
Well, I know AuSable Bayfield Conservation appreciates it and your community appreciates it. And thank you for making time for us tonight, Jim. And don't forget to bid at conservationdinner.com. You got to check out the great items there. I know Jim will support the auction as will our community. I'm going to see if we have anybody else lined up, or we're going to. Oh, excellent. So. Sure. Yeah. I'll introduce that. Live TV, folks. We have a lovely message here and an important message from Mark Keller, president of the Exeter Lions Club. And Mark is going to give a brief message. And as I say, this has been an amazing partnership of 30 years, more than $1.2 million raised for community projects of the Lions Club and the Conservation Foundation. And let's ask Mark, and he does a great job. We'll hear from him.
Hello everyone, Mark Keller here, president of the Exeter Lions Club. The Exeter Lions are proud to have helped raise more than $1.2 million for community projects over the past 30 years through the Conservation Dinner. We're online this year, and we encourage you to support your community with online bids, donations, buying takeout dinners from participating restaurants, and purchasing online 50/50 tickets at exeterlions5050.com. The Exeter Lions would like to thank our incredible community for their support during these unprecedented times. Enjoy your online experience.
Thank you very much, Mark. Great words and a great group of people. I've been working on this for more than 15 years with the wonderful community volunteers of the Conservation Dinner Committee, and working with those hardworking members of the Exeter Lions Club has been a real privilege and honor. So thank you, Mark, to you and to your members, President Mark. And so we have Dave Frayne lined up. And do we also have Lisa? No, not yet. Dave, I'll introduce you. Great to have you on board here. Dave Frayne is wearing multiple hats today, as we do in rural Ontario. He's chair of the Conservation Dinner Committee, and the Conservation Dinner, of course, is online this year, and tonight's broadcast is kicking that off. Dave's also chair of the AuSable Bayfield Conservation Foundation. So we talked a lot about the Conservation Authority, but the proceeds tonight go to two organizations, Exeter Lions Club and the AuSable Bayfield Conservation Foundation. Dave, welcome. Tell me a little bit about the foundation and some of the things the foundation supports.
Well, thank you, Tim, and thank you, everybody. The foundation wears multi-hats, too. We're involved with education. We give a $1,000 grant every year to eligible students for continuing education. We do training. We usually help through hiring a summer student for the AuSable Bayfield Authority. We do lots of parks and recreation activities. We have many walkways. We have the Bannockburn Trail, the Exeter Morrison Trail. We have the new trails down in Elsie Craig. We have the Celebration of Life Trees of Life out in Grand Bend near the Pioneer Park at the Klondike Cemetery. We also have Celebration of Life at the Exeter AuSable Bayfield site in September. We have many things. Well, we have the Friends of the South Huron Trail. We have Friends of the Bayfield Trail. We have help out with the replacement of boards and that stuff on the walkways to these areas. We support the Lions Club, obviously. When they have their fishing derby in normal times, we make a donation there towards the purchase of fish. We wear many hats, and we try and help wherever we can.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, Dave, on the good work of you and the board of directors and the Conservation Foundation. What can you say about, you've been to some dinners in the past. We're doing things differently this year. I know you're trying to help keep everybody safe by not having 400 people in a room this year. So things are a little bit different. Tell us how things are different this year, and the ways that you're going to support these amazing projects, but try to raise the funds in a different way.
Well, as everyone is aware, tonight we start off our online auction, live auction, and it goes till next Thursday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day. We've had 8 restaurants join us in making donations back when people support them. And tonight, my wife and I just helped ourselves out in Dublin, the family restaurant there. We had the veal parmesan and the chichimanga, and we got enough food left for tomorrow night. So that's a good way to go. We have obviously our committee and the staff at South Bayfield have put a lot of work and effort into this online auction. And we'd like to thank our past sponsors too, who allowed us to carry over the items from last year and add on to those that we got this year. We have, I think, approximately 130 items tonight that started in the auction. I see some of them are bidding already. And I was just sitting here beforehand, putting my information in so I can get a couple of bids myself. So we have many ways for the individuals who are watching tonight to support the ongoing efforts of both the Lions Club and the foundation by bidding on these items, going to these 8 restaurants and purchasing a meal, or becoming a patron to the foundation. You'll see on the online auction area, there's some areas there where you can make donations, and you'll be recognized for those. And anything you can do to help us continue on with the work we're doing, it's for the community. We work with the old Sauble Channel in Grand Bend. We work with Pinery. We work with the Huron Stewardship Council. We wear many hats, but it's usually a lot of the work is done by the staff and our many volunteers. So anything that people can do to help us all out, we appreciate it. The money stays in our community and it's for our communities.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave. That's great. You know, we have so many thanks tonight. First to Full Pop Media Incorporated that's facilitating this broadcast tonight. Also the 3 cable television providers, Hay Communications, Huron Tel, and Tucker Smith Communications, TCC. But you also underlined, Dave, the other people we have to thank, the donors, the volunteers, the Lions Club. For people who don't know, the Conservation Dinner Committee, it has Exeter Lions Club members, it has the Sauble Bayfield Conservation Foundation members, some staff, and then community volunteers. Tell me about the meetings. What's it like being on the Conservation Dinner Committee?
Well, it's very exciting. Unfortunately, as people are aware, we haven't been able to meet in person. We do a lot of these Zoom meetings like we're doing tonight. We get, most of the people are on Zoom, and we get about 2 or 3 sometimes on the telephone thing, but everybody has input. Everybody has something to say and something to offer. And some people take it on themselves to make like Janet Clark made the offer to check on the restaurants. And Roger Lewison helped out too. And other members went out and asked previous donors for things. And, you know, sometimes they had to say no because last year was not a good year for a lot of people. But they all know it's tough times. And our committee, we met probably once a month. And then the last few weeks, we met every 2 weeks. And then the last week, we met 1 week before tonight's grand opening. But we want to make sure everything the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. And that we had a platform that was viable and we had a product that people may be interested in. So I don't know what more I can say, Tim. I just want to thank
that's excellent. You mentioned, you know, there's the whole arrangements committee, and I'm going to miss people, as you said, Janet Clark, Roger Lewington, Diane Carson. The whole arrangements committee really launched this new restaurants idea. And as you say, Dave, these restaurants that are participating, it's difficult times. They're busy and short-staffed and trying to feed us at a time when there are difficulties and challenges, and yet they're still willing to do this for the community. So thank you for having supported our Dining for the community. And I encourage you to check that out at conservationdinner.com. If you go to the restaurants tab, there are at least 9 restaurants there. Dublin's Family Restaurant with the chimichanga that you mentioned and the veal parmesan. All the meals are delicious. Hessenland Inn and Schatz Winery, Huron Family Restaurant in Exeter, Lake Hound of Grand Bend, Lake House of Bayfield, MJ's Roadhouse Lucan, Out of the Blue Seafood Market, Robinson Fresh Cafe, White Squirrel Golf Club. And if you check out the meals, it's going to make your mouth water. There's some great meals, and it's a great way a delicious way to support your community. Now, Dave, you said that you are already bidding on the auction. Can you tell us what you're bidding on, or is that a secret?
No, but it's probably going to go, before I get there, the steel weedless trimmer, or cordless trimmer.
Nice. Yeah.
My wife would like it for the cottage.
Oh, there you go. That's great. Well, you're going to have to bid high to get it now, because we have all these, hundreds of people that now know that Dave wants it. So now the bidding competition is going to be stiff. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, Dave?
Well, I just want to say, like, when I went to the family restaurant in Dublin, I introduced myself as the chair of the foundation and thanked him for his participation and in return, supporting him. I also did something for the MJ's Roadhouse in Lucan. Personally thanked him for, again, being part of our program, and that I was supporting them in their ongoing efforts. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. And I think this year, with the different restaurants we have, people can have a choice of where they want to get their food. It's not all one central location in Exeter. It's in Bayfield, Grand Bend, Lucan, Dublin. It's all throughout our watershed, which we all serve.
You know what, Dave? I'm glad you mentioned that, because you can look at the disappointment of not being able to meet in person and have the dinner in person. But I think there's also an exciting opportunity here, where the online auction can reach a much broader area. The projects supported serve a broad area. Now we can bring in people, like you can go to a restaurant in Bayfield or St. Joseph or Exeter or Lucan or any of the other places. And so hopefully the opportunity here is to involve more people. So thank you so much, Dave, for having said thanks on our behalf to those restaurants for what they're doing. And we certainly do appreciate it. And Dave, we appreciate your time, all your hard work every year on this charitable fundraiser, and your time tonight to connect with us and talk to people. So not everybody likes doing TV, and so we put you on the spot, but we sure appreciate it, and thank you for your time. We value that.
Well, thank you, Tim. And I think it's important that people take the time to help out their communities, right? And this is a simple way we can do it, by staying safe, staying healthy. Like today, I just got my first COVID shot as the Zeneca or Pfizer.
Congratulations.
And I think it went smooth, and hopefully our auction tonight continues on until next Thursday night. And I'll probably see you again next Thursday night for the culmination, when we have the draw for the 50-50.
Yes, very exciting, and thank you for mentioning that. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I don't know if people heard that. So safely online, you can get your 50-50 draw ticket this year, and this year the prize could be huge. It's thousands of dollars. It gets bigger every year. Last year it was capped. I think it was the 50-50 prize was $5,000. Who knows how high it could get this year? So go to that site. There are so many things that we can't do right now, and bidding online, donating to these great causes, going to these restaurants, buying your raffle tickets, that's something that not everybody, but most people can do safely at home. So Dave, congratulations on getting your first of the vaccine shots, and stay safe, stay healthy. You look good. So looking forward to seeing you in person in some months down the road. But for now, everybody that's watching, stay safe. And we're going to keep going. And you made a good point here. This is a week-long event. It started today, but you have until 9 p.m. on April 22nd, which is Earth Day, to bid. So, over that week, you also have opportunities at some of these restaurants. So check them out. So thank you, Dave Frayne. Appreciate your time. You're doing a great job for your community. Thank you. And up next, are we going to a video or an interview? Yes.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for inviting me to speak virtually at this year's fundraiser. I know this will likely be repeated many times tonight, but in 30 years, this fundraiser has contributed $1.2 million toward conservation initiatives shared by the Asable Bayfield Conservation Foundation and the Exeter Lions Club. Those Those funds make so much possible for their watershed. Your donations go to improving trails and parklands, but also toward bursaries, so a local student can do studies in water, soil, and habitats of living things. You contribute to hiring a summer student for AuSable Bayfield Conservation and to programs for studying the aquatic life of the AuSable River and other local rivers. I'd like to recognize the chair of this year's virtual fundraiser and his many helpers. I'd also like to recognize and thank the donors and other local supporting Lions clubs. I wish you all the best for your online dinner. Thanks, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. That was the Honourable Monty McNaughton, and Monty is MPP for Lambton, Kent, Middlesex. So thank you so much, Monty, for taking the time. I know we wanted to personally thank Conservation Dinner Chair Dave Frayne, and he took the time to send that message. On this broadcast today and on our broadcast in a week's time, also at 7 p.m. on Earth Day, April 22nd, I know we have other dignitaries. We've talked to the office of Lisa Thompson, Honourable Lisa Thompson, member of Provincial Parliament for Huron-Bruce, and I know she's hoping to connect with us at some point. And also we've talked to the office of Member of Parliament for Huron-Bruce, Ben Lobb. And Ben also expressed that he looks forward to joining us on one of our broadcasts. So we thank them and all our representatives who are working hard, and we're looking forward to having chats with them about the importance of trails and parks and nature areas, the importance of our youth, and programs like what you're supporting tonight, and this week rather, which is bursaries for youth, nature education for youth, job experiences for youth, and not just projects for the young, but the young at heart, like me and some of the rest of us. So thanks to Monty. And I think at some point we're going to hear from the municipality of South Huron, Mayor George Finch, who's been very active in community activities that deal with nature, and certainly the South Huron Trail and its two sections, the McNaughton-Morrison Trail and the Morrison Dam section of the South Huron Trail. So many of those projects could not happen if it weren't for the community, and the community of South Huron and surrounding communities has been amazingly supportive of some of those projects, and what's happened there is really phenomenal. And I know Mayor George has also been involved with Friends of the South Huron Trail, Family Day, Winterfest, a lot of different activities. So I've been lucky and honored over the years to work with George, not only as Mayor of South Huron, but also as a volunteer. So he's a community-minded person, and he also took the time. We appreciate him having taken the time to send a message to us. So in a few seconds, we're going to watch a video with Mayor George Finch of the municipality of South Huron.
Hello everyone, my name is George Finch and I'm the proud Mayor of South Huron. I am proud because of all you've accomplished to make South Huron and region the great place it is to live, work and play. It is because of the dedication and generosity of so many organizations such as the Exeter Lions Club and the AuSable Bayfield Conservation Foundation, plus countless businesses and individuals who have worked hand in hand to make us the greatest small town community in Canada. You should be proud to know that the $1.2 million you've already raised over the past 30 years continues to benefit your communities by supporting an active year-round lifestyle for all residents and visitors. The money you continue to raise today and into the future will support a large number of ongoing community projects and amenities such as accessible parks, nature areas, and trails that offer endless recreational opportunities for everyone. It also provides many employment possibilities for our youth to promote their skills and provide bursaries for their education. Be proud of who you are and be proud of what you do, because I am proud of each and every one of you. Stay safe And be kind and good luck to all of you at the online dinner this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor George, for that powerful message. And I mentioned the South Huron Trail connecting the two sections in Exeter and east of Exeter, but there are many other accessible nature trails in a larger area that are supported by your donations and your bids this week. Those are accessible nature trails in Bayfield and Clinton and Park Hill and Lucan, Arkona, Exeter we mentioned, and also Varna. So it really is a broad community activity that we're doing. And so we hope that you consider a donation to the work of the Lions Clubs, the work of Exeter Lions Club and the South Bayfield Conservation Foundation, and the community projects that they support. So the trails, we've talked about turtle habitat and monitoring activities in Port Franks and Elsa Craig. We have habitat work, all really important work, as well as the nature education, the trails, and the other projects that we've mentioned. So that's what you're going to support, I hope, during this week, the Conservation Dinner, virtual Conservation Dinner online auction. We're going to hear in a second from Abby Gutteridge. And Abby, you'll enjoy listening to Abby more than you'll enjoy listening to me, I guarantee it. And Abby is going to walk you through how to use the conservationdinner.com link to the online auction. It's a big long address. It's trellis.org and a little bit more for the auction. But if you go to conservationdinner.com and just click the tab that says online auctions, it'll take you right to the website. So you may find, well, first of all, it's free. It's free to sign up and start bidding, so that's great. Normally, you know, you go to the dinner and there is a cost to go to the dinner. No cost at all to go to conservationdinner.com, click on that online auctions website and start bidding. You may have to set up a user account. It may take a few minutes. This morning, my wife and I were trying to figure it out, and she had her way of figuring it out, and I had my way, and eventually we got on there. If you have any problems, just give Abby a call at the office or email her, and she'll get back to you and walk you through it, or Sharon or someone else will walk you through it. But basically, we have a very short little video that Abby Gutteridge is going to do presently. And in that video, she'll walk you through a little bit about how you can bid and support your community safely online. So welcome, Abby.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Abby Gutteridge, and I'm Corporate Services Coordinator with the ASALBO Bayfield Conservation Authority. I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the online platform that we're using for our virtual auction this year. We're using Trellis, and it's very easy to use, but I'm here with just a few tips on how to navigate that site so you'll have a great experience as you bid in our online auction. If you go to conservationdinner.com and find our online auctions page, you will find a link to the Trellis site. Once you go into Trellis, you'll come to our homepage for the auction. Please do scroll through that whole page. There's a lot of really great information on there, not only on the silent auction, but also on the Exeter Lions 50/50 and our Dine for Your Community initiative, where we've partnered with a number of restaurants in our watershed, so you can not only enjoy a great meal, but also be giving back to your community at the same time. Once you go into the silent auction itself, you will need to create an account so you're able to bid on some of the really great items that are in our auction. To do that, you will need to log in. On some computers, I believe at the left-hand side, there will be a panel that will show you My Cart and a donation button and a silent auction button, and it will have a little button that says Login. If you don't see that panel, there should be 3 little lines at the top left-hand corner of your screen. If you click on those lines, you should be able to see the panel that I'm talking about. Once you hit Login, you'll be asked to enter a valid email address, and then it will take you on a step-by-step process on how to create an account. where you will not only give your information, but also your credit card information so you're able to bid on some of these great items. After you've created your account, then you're able to bid on the items. And one thing to note, while you're creating your account, you will be asked if you want to turn notifications on. This is important if you have some items that you really have your eye on. If you turn on notifications, it will notify you either by email or by text. If you provide a cell phone number, it will notify you if you've been outbid. So that's a really important feature if there is something that you really have your eye on and don't want to be outbid. So once you are all registered, then you can start to bid and just have fun. Scroll through all the items. There are a lot in this auction, and there's really something for everyone. And so make sure you scroll right through. If you find it a little overwhelming, the number of items, you can actually sort by categories. There's categories listed along the top of your page, and some of them are house and home, clothing and accessories, sports. So feel free to filter by those categories, and then you'll just see the items that relate to that topic. And honestly, just have fun. It is so great, the items that have been donated. We're so thankful to the community who have just really gone over and above to donate some really great items. So anyways, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any issues at all, please feel free to call the AuSable Bayfield Conservation Authority, and we will try and help you through any glitches you might find on the site. Our phone number is 519-235-2610, and you can ask for myself, Abby Gutteridge, or Sharon Pokey, and we will do our best to navigate you through that site. Happy bidding, everyone. Take care.
Thank you very much, Abby. I told you she would do an amazing job. I wish I could speak like that. That was very well done. Thank you. And I'm looking at some of the comments. This is not only on Hay Television and Huron Tel and Tucker Smith. It's also on our conservationdinner.com website. It's also on Facebook. And I'm seeing some funny comments at my expense from some of my friends. I see someone saying he knew the restaurant names off by heart. Thank you, Pat. Nice, very nice. And Donna says, I'm looking dapper. Thank you, Donna. And a shout out from Jeff, Hey Timmer. So hi, Jeff. Those are all the comments I see. I'm looking forward to checking out the other comments. I hope you're having fun as I do my best Ted Knight impersonation. Switching gears, we're going to watch a video now, and this video is of somebody who I've been very honored to work with. Has been a wonderful volunteer with Friends of the South Huron Trail, and he's going to give a very personal view of what our trails mean, what our conservation areas mean. And he's in the Exeter area, Lorne Rideout. And Lorne is going to talk about a very personal impact of trails and getting out in nature and his own health, and how rebounding on his road to recovery, he used those trails. A great person, a very active volunteer for the entire 15 or 16 years that I've been working with AuSable Bayfield Conservation. So if we're lined up, we'll go to Lorne Rideout. And thank you, Lorne, for your time. Looking forward to your message here.
Good day, Tim. It's Lorne. I'm out on the trail. Another beautiful spring day. It's too nice to be in the house, that's for sure. The wildflowers are in full bloom. I love this time of the year. Not that I don't enjoy the other 3 seasons as well, but with all the spring flowers, it's pretty colorful walking this time of the year. Lots of wildlife to see too. Quite a few birds around this morning, and haven't seen any deer yet, but would be a good day for that as well. I'd like to say a special thank you to the AuSable staff for having the trail in such great shape. Again, we didn't have much flooding this spring, so that's good. And but usually the staff will have any washouts filled in pretty quickly, and this year it's in great shape. And I noticed a few more ash trees have been removed over the winter, which is great. Pretty safe to walk in all areas of the trail. South Huron, actually, Exeter especially, is pretty pretty lucky, pretty fortunate to have the trail system here. I'm sure it brings in a lot of people. In normal times, a couple of years ago, I talked to a group of men that come up from London and walked the trail, and at that time they were coming up once a week. And they also mentioned that they come up and walk the trail in the morning and then go to one of the restaurants to have lunch. So the trail probably brings in quite a few people to the community, and I'm sure all of the businesses in a normal year would benefit greatly from that. A few years ago, I walked the trail because I needed to walk the trail, and after major heart surgery, the cardio rehab team had a program for me during my rehab time, and part of that program was walking on our trail system here, which was really beneficial. So yeah, so it's not just a pleasurable walk; it's also healthy for many of us. Hopefully, the trail will stay open this summer. It's a great place to be when you have limited activities going on around town, especially recreational activities. So it'll be good if it did stay open. Again, thanks to everybody who helps maintain the trail, especially the staff at AuSable, and enjoy the spring and summer.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for really telling us what this whole evening and this whole week is about, and that is supporting the community and the fact that trails and parks and conservation areas and nature education and all the different programs supported by the Exeter Lions Club and the Conservation Foundation, they all have an impact on our lives and in our own health. And in my case, you know, my blood pressure is higher than what it should be. And so getting out in the trails, and I know there are limits in how much time we can spend right now and which trails we can go to. But during this difficult time, those trails have been really important. And I would like to thank Lauren for all his work. Not only his time tonight speaking about why these projects mean something to him, but also all his past and present work for the community. So thank you, Lauren. And we have another person that's connecting live. We have Taylor. Now, Taylor, is it Roth or Roth? I should know.
It doesn't matter. We get both. Even my great-grandpa doesn't know, so.
How do you say it?
Probably Roth.
Roth, okay. Well, thank you, Taylor. And Taylor, really appreciate you on short notice joining us. People are going to be so much more interested in what you have to say than what I have to say. And Taylor, she's going to tell you about it, so I don't want to carry this on too long, but she has been a junior conservationist, and the Junior Conservationist program is a program supported by your donations and your funds and your bids for the AuSable Bayfield Conservation Foundation. And it's for a young person to have a job and career experience where they work at AuSable Bayfield Conservation Authority and they try out different things. And they really learn what they like, maybe what they don't like. I don't know. We're going to find out. And a great opportunity to work locally, to learn locally. And without further ado, Taylor, just first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and where do you live and where do you come from?
Thank you, Tim. As mentioned, my name's Taylor. I was the junior conservationist in the summer of 2019. I grew up just outside of Kippen on Airport Line on a 100-acre cash crop farm with a bunch of animals, some cattle, some horses, chickens, a few ducks, just all for fun. I've always enjoyed spending time outside with animals and nature. And in fact, I've been riding and competing horses since I was about 7 years old. Now I'm in my second year of a chemical engineering undergraduate program at the University of Waterloo, where I'm currently finishing my second co-op term. So overall, I just enjoy being outside, spending time with animals and nature and friends. And from a science perspective, I really like learning about the newest energy technologies and how to implement them in an environmentally friendly way.
Wonderful. Thank you, Taylor. Taylor, tell us about your experience when you were a junior conservationist. What are some of the things you did?
I did a lot of things. I worked with almost everybody at the Conservation Authority. So to name a few people, I worked with Abby, my direct supervisor, who at the time was a Healthy Watersheds technician. We went to the beach every week and we didn't just relax. We collected water samples to test those to make sure that the beach was safe for swimming. I also worked with Angela, the wetlands specialist, who visited many wetland restoration project sites. We were learning about invasive species and the control strategies to control those and various landowners. I also helped Denise and Nina, the environmental educators, who with 2 weeks of summer education camps for elementary school kids. So I helped run those. I also worked with the forestry and land stewardship specialist, went to many consultation sites with him and learned about tree planting projects. I also did some freshwater mussel sampling. We would go to the river and sit in waders in the river and identify a bunch of different mussels to make sure that they're living and healthy. Overall, I did pretty much everything that there is to be done at the watershed just to get a good general knowledge of everything that's done.
So is it safe to say you learned a lot?
Oh yes, for sure.
What is something that you took away from your experience?
I definitely learned that conservation is very important and the environment's really fragile. Everybody at the ABCA has a specific task, and all of these jobs are important and come together to protect the watershed in their own unique ways. I honestly didn't know how important the watershed was. Like, it's the backbone of our community. It gives us our drinking water. You have to be mindful of all the invasive species. And I also learned that we can't do it alone. We have to have community involvement and members of the public engaging and helping to protect the watershed, because the ABCA is a finite resource. We don't have all the capacity. We need to have some landowner cooperation. So it was really interesting to visit with landowners and go to many private sites and see what they were doing, how they were interested in planting trees and making a wetland to better improve the watershed. Overall, I was just surprised to learn how specific watershed maintenance really is.
Wonderful. What did you like best about your experience?
I definitely liked the weekly water sample visits along the lakeshore. I also had the opportunity to go canoeing with one of the guys and basically take out data loggers in the pinery up near Grand Bend. I also liked the planning and regulation side of things. I worked with the planning and regulations team to go to landowner sites and evaluate them for erosion and specific erosion control measures. Since I'm an engineering student, the actual engineering behind those methods were quite interesting. And along the engineering lines, I liked learning about the source water protection management that's happening and what they're doing to help prevent spills, and if there is a spill, what they do to clean it up and stuff like that to protect our drinking water.
Wonderful. Was there anything you didn't like?
I wouldn't say I didn't like anything. The probably biggest challenge I encountered was engaging little 7-year-old children in the day camps. That was sometimes tough at the end of the week, but overall it was still a great experience.
So to somebody that's watching this tonight, what would you say in terms of the work of this dinner and the Lions Club and the Foundation to make opportunities like this possible? What would you say about that in terms of how important it is? Or
I think that the junior conservationist job is extremely valuable and important. It definitely helps shape the local community, I believe. This job provided me with the knowledge that I definitely could not have learned in the classroom. It was great to get hands-on experience. I also don't believe I would have ever learned how important the watershed is without this job. I definitely gained an appreciation for the hard work that everyone does at the ABCA to keep the watershed and environment healthy and promote awareness. I also think it helps to shape the upcoming generation at a local community level. I think everybody cares about their hometown community more than a community thousands of miles away. So recruiting a student from the actual watershed and teaching them the principles of stewardship will definitely help hit home to them. Overall, I will definitely remember my time at the ABCA for years to come. And the positive experience I had as a junior conservationist will definitely help shape my career and personal life choices.
well, thank you so much, Taylor. I know everybody that worked with you, myself included, everybody there really appreciates the work you did, and we appreciate the fact that you're still giving back to your community by taking the time, late on a Thursday night to join with us. And so, congratulations on all the success you're having in your own life and your continued interest in the work that is taking place so that people have recreation opportunities, nature opportunities, healthy water, soil, habitat that we all need. So thank you very much. Yeah, and,
thank you very much.
Yeah, and you have a great evening, and it's great to talk with you again.
Take care.
Okay, you take care, Taylor. Thank you so much. And we have, about 3 minutes? 5 minutes? 3 to 5? So I just want to go over anything that we might have missed. And I see a comment there, very knowledgeable Taylor, thank you, that's on Facebook, and we appreciate the comment, Pat. And so we have coming up this next week, tune in again, 7 p.m. on Thursday, April 22nd. We're going to have another show. We have some videos from the Dog Guides program and Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides, one of the programs that's supported by the Exeter Lions Club. So we hope to have that. Do we have a short one that we can show? Yeah, so I think there might be one, we're getting low on time, but there might be one that's about 1 minute and 40 or a couple of minutes. Yeah, a couple of minutes. So when that's set up, and here again, we want to thank Nick. Nick had to laugh at all my jokes. That was part of the deal, and he said, yeah, I don't get paid that much. So we're trying to do one of those adapted pandemic era shows. So there's, maybe next show we'll have a laugh track. But none of my friends will believe that. But, I see Abby Guttard says, awesome, Taylor, great interview. And I think we're set up. So here's one of the videos from the Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides.
My name is Jessie, and I'm a diabetic alert dog instructor. And this is Jackson, and he's a diabetic alert dog in training. Jackson's job is to help Canadians with diabetes that have hypoglycemic unawareness and that are insulin dependent. Jackson's skills are very important. He's trained to alert me when my blood sugars drop below a 4.5 by pawing me. He's also trained to go get my glucometer kit in the event that I need to test myself. Jackson's also trained to go fetch a juice box or glucose tab so I can help myself bring my blood sugar levels back up. And Jackson can either go get someone in the house and bring them to me, or he can activate a life alert system that would either call 911 or a family friend so they could come to help me. We train the dogs using saliva samples that are donated from people that have diabetes. Jackson's trained to smell the sample, or smell the low, and then paw to alert you. Yes, good boy! And then he gets his paycheck. So now that Jackson's pawed me to tell me that my blood sugar levels are low, I'm going to ask him to fetch my glucometer kit so he can retrieve it and bring it back to me so I can test. Jackson, fetch kit. Yes, fetch kit. Jackson, fetch kit. Yes. Good boy. So now that Jackson brought me my glucometer kit and I know that I've tested low, I'm going to ask Jackson to activate the life alert system so we can call for help because no one's here at home to help me. Jackson, alert. Yes.
Please check telephone connection. Please check telephone connection.
Here again, another great program supported by the Lions Club, and you can certainly donate directly to the Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides, and also Exeter Lions Club supports that program as well, and a wonderful program. And some wonderful programs tonight. I've gone a little bit long, so I apologize to our wonderful cable television providers. Hey, Hurontel, TCC, Tucker Smith Communications. Thank you so much for having provided that opportunity, and thanks to Full Pop Media for navigating the technology and trying to make me look good. I don't know if that's happened, but I'm not sure anybody could do that, but they've done their best. So we're getting down to the last, actually I think we're past 8 o'clock, and so I apologize for running long, but you know what? There's been some great content tonight, and we're all learning. We're learning how to do online auctions. We're learning how to do the restaurant programs. We're learning how to do 50-50. We're learning how to do this tonight. It's a learning curve for all of us. But thank you for your time having joined on. Thank you for the comments. I see Judith Cummings saying she was wonderful. Yes, she was. I saw some nice comments from Sharon and from Kate. I don't see Kate's message, but it was basically a very encouraging message to all of us. So check out some of those positive comments. I don't see any negative comments. There may be. But visit conservationdinner.com and click on the online auctions, or the trellis.org site. That's where you're going to end up going. That's running underneath. So I thank the folks here at Full Pop Media and the station, Local 1, for making that information there. You can donate right now. There are donation opportunities of I think it's $200 is, I believe, platinum. I would call it something else. I might call it the oak leaf level, because that's the logo of the foundation. So those people are making a huge difference. You can be a patron. If you have already budgeted to spend $85 on a conservation dinner ticket this year, consider donating it. That's what I did, and so that makes me a patron, and I'm glad to do it because I know the value of those programs, and we encourage you to do that too. But if you don't want to make that donation, you can make a donation of any kind. There's another level of recognition for your donation. You can make a donation of $10, $20, whatever you can do for these needed supported projects. And check out the great items. There's some great things. We've enjoyed the amazing businesses that have provided items to the conservation dinner online a week long this year. All the donors, the community donors, and check out on the conservationdinner.com website, check out how much money is being raised. It's so much fun to see that number going up, and I can tell by that number that you're already starting to use the website and starting to bid and supporting your community in this way. How much time do we have? About a minute? Okay, so this is our wrap up. Sorry we didn't have some greater celebrity here, but if I've done my job tonight, hopefully I've passed on the mantle to people that really have the message to be heard tonight. People like Lauren and Taylor and our dignitaries and Jim and Dave and Mark and everyone and all the people I've missed, George, that took part tonight. So thank you thank them for their time. Thank you for your time. And if you have any trouble navigating the online auction, as I said, give Abby or Sharon a call, but I think if you work through it, you can probably figure it out. And then once you start using it, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see some great items. What a community. Yes, I miss being in the hall with the great meal and 400 people, but we have local conservation dinners and great meals. Check them out, and thanks to the 9 restaurants that are taking part. And some other restaurants are also donating, and they're making donations of other kinds, and cash donations, et cetera. So even if you don't see them on that restaurant's page, there are lots more restaurants and local businesses and donors that are supporting projects in your local communities. ConservationDinner.com. I'm Tim Cumming. I'm the green tie dinner guy. Thank you for having joined, and thank you for your patience with live television. Thank you for your patience with the technology. Thank you for your patience with me as I try to navigate this. And thanks once again to you. Thanks to the volunteers, to the donors, to the patrons, to the artists, to everybody who's part of this. And hopefully we can make this a success again this year in 2021, virtual conservation dinner. Thank you.